Hello and welcome back to the Doctor Who Marathon. I'm your host McEdam, and today we'll be talking about The Alchemist, the companion Chronicles story starring Susan Foreman. Starring Carole Ann Ford as Susan Foreman. This story is written by Ian Porter. Now, he's a strange writer for the series. He's done a few Big Finish audio dramas, but he's mainly known for riff tracks, which are funny commentaries for movies. So it was really weird to have such a comedy writer, write for this kind of story. And it also stars Wayne Foster as Potty. Yes, that is his name. Anyway, so this is a two-part story set during pre-war World War II Germany. So part one has the Doctor and Susan obviously land, and they're in like a much more poverty place in Germany. And the Doctor gets to hear that a lot of famous scientists are in locally from this man who, I can't remember what he does, but basically he does favors for people, and they give him gold, really good, top-notch gold. So the guy then takes them to the scientists, which the Doctor is a huge fan of. One particular is Fitz Harbor. Now, in history, Fitz Harbor, I'll put like a Wikipedia page in the description. He's basically the guy who invented chemical warfare, but he also done a lot of good. And this story tries and do him justice by revealing a bit about his life. Now, sadly, he wasn't in it. Fitz Harbor wasn't in it. I think he was only in it for like one scene. So the story doesn't actually revolve around him, but it is kind of strange how he's like a big element. So it is kind of like a pure historical. But anyway, so Susan gets pretty bored of this place, so she goes to a nearby cafe where she meets Potter, played by Wayne Foster. Now, Wayne Foster, he's probably better known for voicing Captain Scarlet. I don't know if any of you are fans of Captain Scarlet. I don't know any of you at all. So, what am I talking about? So, but he does a very good job at playing two characters. He also plays the citizen before, and when Potter meets Susan, he's very charming. He relates to her in the way that they're like British. Well, she's not British, but he thinks she's British. And he comes off as a very smooth, suave guy. He's a very likable character until something. Spoilers. Ooh, that's going to be in the future. But anyway, then suddenly Susan starts feeling sick, and Potty then helps her to go and see her grandfather, the Doctor. But then the Doctor gets kidnapped, and everybody believes that he was kidnapped by accident, and the people really wanted Fitz Harbor. Now, so this actually is a Doctor-like story, which is a modern term meaning a story where the Doctor's hardly in it. I think it really works here because it gives Susan a lot of character in that she gets to explore the harsh world of Nazi-occupied Germany. So she befriends these kids, and these kids, one of them says that his brother can help, who is a Nazi police officer. And that's the cliffhanger of part one. I don't think this one was really, I don't think the cliffhanger was as strong as the beginning. It's cliffhanger, but it is like a nice segue into part 2. So part 2 has Susan teaming up with this Nazi policeman to interview somebody about some mysteries going on about in the criminal underground in Germany. But this guy clearly doesn't know what he's on about, and Susan gets frustrated. And Carole Ann Ford, this is a great time to talk about Carole Ann's performance here. She is absolutely amazing. She has not lost it a bit. Now, Susan is one of those characters where you either like her or hate her. I personally like her. She has a sort of simplicity about her, where you know exactly what she does in the story. She's a very simple character, but it is a very effective character. So Susan goes and finds Potty again, and then, oh, there's a spoiler by the way, Potty turns out that he actually wants the gold that Susan gave to the citizen, because it's a very special gold, and he thinks that Susan and the Doctor are secretly spies trying to get Haber to make them clean gold for maybe the Americans or the Germans, because he is actually a British spy. Go figure. I think this twist comes out, it comes out very nicely. They did plant the seeds, like when they're in a cafe and Susan gets ill. She was actually poisoned by him, drugged. Sorry, poison means she's gonna die, but he drugged her. So it's revealed that Susan was drugged at that time, and he plans to drug her again, basically, and kidnap her. But she finds her own way out, which was really cool. She puts like a rope behind to a window, and he thinks that it's her, but actually she's hiding behind the door and she locks him in, which I thought was very clever. Well, it's simple, but it's clever. You've seen it 100 times before, but I think it works with Susan because she's such an innocent, sweet character that you could believe that she wouldn't do any harm to anyone. So Susan goes back to the citizen and offers him more gold to go and ask some of the scientists that the Doctor was talking to before. But then the citizen actually takes her somewhere else, where they find the Doctor with bandages all over him. It turns out that the person who kidnapped the Doctor was the citizen, who wanted to know where Susan and the Doctor got that gold and have it for himself, so he can strengthen Germany's money problems. I thought, knowing that these were two played by the same character, I thought it was going to be revealed that it was actually Potty in disguise, but that wasn't the case. Potty comes out later and shoots him, but still is like, Doctor, you got to tell me how you get that very clean gold. And this is a really cool scene where the Doctor tells Susan not to tell him how they got the gold, and she's like, okay, I'll tell you. It's actually quite simple. What you do is just get these chemicals, and then what she does is she throws them on the floor, and obviously, you know, everyone's coughing and stuff, and then she says that because of the gas, he can't fire his gun because it might explode and kill everybody. And then what that does is it distracts him. She throws another piece of chemicals, which explodes and knocks him out enough that his gun falls out. And then Susan grabs the gun, and he's like, what about that thing you said, that the gun will make will make the whole place explode? And she says, well, I lied. And I thought that was very clever that she used her own initiative to get her way out of the situation. And then the Doctor, obviously she frees the Doctor, and the Doctor says something along the line of, don't follow us or we will kill you. And Susan kind of talks up that he wasn't bad, he didn't really mean it, but the way she says it doesn't sound too sure. Maybe it's hinting that the Doctor back then was a much more darker character. We know later on that he was tempted to do something like that, which we'll get on in another episode. So I like there was a little tease. Like, it was not like about the whole thing, but it was a like little tease that the Doctor has a much darker personality, and Susan, because she's so young and she is obviously his granddaughter, looks up to him and thinks, nah, he wouldn't do that. And then that's the end of the story. Overall, Ian Potter has done a fantastic job. I personally enjoyed it more than the beginning, but is there a few problems? Maybe it could have done with a bit more of Susan exploring occupied Germany, but it is satisfying enough for a decent two-part story. So there you go. I'll see you all next time in the Doctor Who Marathon.